Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rantz, Tommy Krysan, Wednesday edition of Sports Shorts Daily. Today, what is today? The 11th, Tommy?
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
11th,
11. Lucky number 11.
March 11th edition. Oh, by the way, a day away before the St. Patrick's Day auction kicks off for the Louisiana Sports
Oh, okay.
Hall of Fame Foundation. So be looking for that. It'll kick off tomorrow at noon, and then it'll run and wrap up on the 18th at 9 p.m. So look for all the cool stuff that's going on online and help benefit the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. TK, a lot to digest in the last 48 hours or so since we did Sports Shorts Radio Daily on Monday. The United States baseball team in the World Baseball Classic, the biggest upset really maybe in the Classic's history. They lose to Italy. Now, before you think, oh my God, they lost to a bunch of guys, they're tossing pizzas over in Sicily. No, that's not the case. I mean, these are guys that are in the majors or minors or whatever, and they just happen to have a cousin's friend who went to Italy once and they qualify to play for him. So these are real dudes, but not at the level of that roster that the United States has, right? But it's baseball, and we've seen upsets before. Obviously we see it in baseball all the time with LSU. In major leagues, it is still baseball, and the disappointing thing is they lose 8-6 to Italy. They're down 8-0, came back and 8-6 had the tying run at the plate. Aaron Judge struck out, but the thing is that we're finding out that Mark DeRosa, the manager for the United States, in the post-game press conference revealed he thought the United States had already qualified for the next round. They went 3-0. They'd beaten Mexico. They only had one game left. I find that hard to believe. Someone even beyond him needs to be held accountable in the hierarchy of the World Baseball or United States World Baseball Organization. How that's even possible is beyond me, because even myself, who's barely paying attention to the World Baseball Classic except when Paul Skeens pitches, even myself thought about this, like, oh, okay, well, do they have to win that game today or do they not? Or, what? Unbelievable.
There's no excuse for it. There's nothing they can say that justifies DeRosa not knowing that situation. I mean, he's got a lot on his plate, but there's got to be somebody in his ear saying, by the way, Mark, make sure you know this, that, boo. Here's the if, ands, and buts, and the if necessary, and the tiebreaker. I mean, somebody's got to inform him of that. So that did not look good. Let's back it up to Monday night. Paul Skeens, Ronnie. That was as dominant as it could be. And there's some major league players on the Mexico roster. And then I got to say this, the first of the two great plays made by Bobby Witt Jr. at short, the first play, I don't know if I've ever seen a better play at shortstop. And like you, I've seen a million plays at shortstop in my lifetime. That was unbelievable. Don't try that at home.
I don't know if Mark DeRosa just has never been in a pool play situation, but I mean, you look at the bracket, the pool, you see what everybody's record is, and it shows you, oh wow, okay, if we're 3-0, Mexico's 2-1, Italy's 2-0. Oh, if Italy beats us, they'd be 3-0, but then they play. Oh, okay, well, we got. I mean, this is 9-year-old travel ball type stuff, and for the United States to potentially not advance because of just not really paying attention or not having a conversation with your coaches or World Baseball United States GM, front office, president, whoever, whatever the hierarchy of that is, incredible. Now, here's the scenario. Italy plays Mexico tonight. It's expected that Aaron Nola is going to be pitching for Italy. That's the expectation. And of course, United States fans, I mean, we are already going to be an Aaron Nola fan from a standpoint of Catholic High Baton Rouge, LSU, all the things. We're always Aaron Nola fans, but you need to be even bigger an Aaron Nola fan because you want Italy to beat Mexico. And if that happens, the United States advances. Or if Mexico beats Italy, but Italy only scores 4 runs or less in that ball game, the United States would.
if they allow 4 or less.
Okay, hang on. If who does what?
If Italy allows 4 or less.
Okay. Okay. So they need to lose 4-3 or something like that. So Mexico cannot score more than 4 runs. If they score 5 and win the game, it's over. The United States is staying home, and it's going to be the biggest upset in the history of the World Baseball Classic. And it's going to affect attendance and TV viewing and that thing tremendously. And so that's it. Italy's got to win. Mexico wins. They need to score less than 4 runs, 4 runs or less. Unbelievable that the United States found themselves in a situation. And look, if they got beat legitimately 8-6, but Bryce Harper didn't play. Not that Bryce Harper's been on fire, but Bryce Harper didn't play. I wonder if the pitching would have been different had the United States felt like they needed to win that game. Had they thrown some other people? It's just bizarre.
Well, and, I've liked DeRosa. I remember when he played for the Braves. He does a lot of TV work, in the studio thing, not really game announcing. But, even, I realize he's got a lot on his plate with this team, but somebody's got to tell him, or he's got to seek it out. Like every morning, take 5 minutes to go over the scenario of if and what, So obviously he's never going to be the manager of Team USA again, because eventually it stops on his desk.
The other thing too is you wonder if what's going on in that dugout. Like, I mean, these are all grown men. They all have brains. They can look at a pool bracket just like you and I can, and anyone else. I mean, did Aaron Judge not play that game, not thinking it was important? Did all of a sudden in the 6th inning somebody go, "Hey guys, do you realize we might not advance unless we get it going here?" I can't wait for the TMZ True Hollywood behind the scenes story on the biggest upset in World Baseball Classic, the United States not advancing.
I agree with you. There's got to be something.
By the way, Tommy, wouldn't it be smart for Italy to lose today?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Italy, besides pride, why wouldn't you just throw Joe the plumber, get beat 10-0 in 7 innings, and you and Mexico advance, and you don't have to worry about the United States in the next round? Like, am I not looking at this correctly?
Well, I mean, things like that have happened in sports where teams pitch off or they play off or without really saying it, it doesn't work out. I mean, it's a precarious situation.
I mean, there's no loyalty or anything that Italy needs to do for the United States. Unless behind the scenes, the United States basically, unless Aaron Judge and those guys are go into the locker room of Italy and go, "Hey guys, we pooled our money. We'll give you guys $5 million if as a team y'all can split if y'all win this game today." Like, seriously, I'm not even joking. Like, I mean, if you're Italy, why would you want to win this game? Your idea is to try. You want to advance. You've already advanced if you lose today. If you lose this game and you blow it out, you let Mexico score more than 4 runs, you advance, Mexico advances, the United States stays at home. The favorite, the team that can keep you from the gold medal is not going to advance if all you do is go out there and you throw, the backup shortstop is the pitcher today, save your arms for the next round and get beat 10-0 in 7 innings and let's go home. Like,
it's mind-boggling.
To me, that's what they absolutely should do. They'd be fool not to do it unless all those billionaires get together, pool some money, and go, "Hey, Coach, will you please still pitch Aaron Nola? And Aaron Nola, will you please?" All those types of things. It's wild. It's wild. All right, we're moving on to another wild topic, and that's LSU baseball. The Tigers took care of business and won last night, 8-6. Over Creighton. It was hairy at the beginning. I didn't really get it going to the end. But at the end of the day, yeah, the fielding is still a problem. They had 2 errors, but it was worse than that. But they got it done. 9 hits, 2 homers. Jake Brown, Cerna, the freshman with a big grand slam that flipped the game. And they got 9 hits, 2 homers. They score 8 runs. They won the game. Okay, that's an improvement. It's a step forward. Makes you feel a little bit better going to Vanderbilt. Here's the negative, Tommy. Creighton didn't throw a single pitcher who's going to pitch this weekend against Tulane. LSU had to come out of the bullpen with Sheeran and some of their best down the stretch to Gonzalez, to finish that game. And those are going to be guys that are going to pitch on the weekend. So LSU did what it had to do to win the game, and they threw whoever they had to throw to win the game. But the difference is Creighton threw a bunch of nobodies that aren't going to pitch against Tulane. And it ended up costing them.
Yeah, no, it's a win. That's the big part, it is a win. And now they go to Vanderbilt, who's 11-7, not ranked. It's been a couple of years since LSU played Vandy when they were not ranked. Game times for the weekend: 6 o'clock Friday, 7 o'clock Saturday, 3 o'clock Sunday. Next home game of the Tigers is Grambling next Tuesday. But they got to get 2 out of 3 from Vanderbilt. I don't care how you slice it. Certainly 3 out of 3 is beautiful, but you got to get 2 out of 3 for sure.
Um, some positives that happened. Blake Brown continues his great year, hitting over 400, 2 hits and a homer. Zach York has got a 4-game hitting streak going. He had a couple of hits yesterday as well. Cerna, the freshman, got his first homer. That was good. And obviously they totaled 9 hits. Stephen Milam continuing to play excellent
Oh, man.
defense. Hadn't had an error through the first 18 games of the season and really made some nice plays last night.
Ronnie, I want to talk about something you and Lynn commented about last night, and I've seen this 4 or 5 times already this year, not just with LSU. What is wrong with these first basemen and third basemen not coming in and getting these pop-ups that are between the dugout and the foul line and between the base and the plate? The catcher from Creighton, he's got no chance. If he catches that, it's luck. First base, there was enough time for the first baseman to get there. I mean, that's one of the oldest things in baseball. But catcher, get out the way unless it's against the screen behind home plate. First baseman, third baseman, that's got to be your ball. That's basic fundamental baseball. And it's not just Creighton last night, but it's happened to a lot of teams already in the young college baseball season. And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? And I know you and Lynn addressed it last night.
I also think there should be a clock on instant replays. Once in midweek games. I mean, when the SEC, they call it a main office in Birmingham and they tell them. But in midweek, when the umpires have to run down the hall and third base, go into an umpire locker room, I don't know what the procedure is once they get there, how long it takes for them to put the headsets on and watch the video, whatever. But it's taken way too long. And some of these, I don't know why we have to spend so much time. They're pretty obvious. Although I'm waiting to see what Paul Gilly tells me today, because they overturned a call. I don't know if you saw this early in the game, Tommy, but
The
LSU
baseline?
baseline.
Yeah, I think the guy was in the line.
I think the guy was in the line too. Lynn and I thought the guy was in the line. According to the rule book, he was in the line. Somebody said, well, he had his foot on the line. His left foot touched the line a time or two when he ran down the baseline. That's okay, according to the rule book. Both feet were either on the line or inside the line. So I was shocked at the overturn. I'd love to hear the explanation. We'll find out today because Paul Gilly, the head of officials for the SEC, umpires for the SEC, he gets all the replays the next day, to do a report on them, make sure they were accurate or wrong or right or whatever. And so I'll find out today if that indeed was the case. And if so, why? Why was that? Again, that was a huge part in the ball game. All right, so LSU, as you mentioned, taking on Vandy, an opportunity. These are two teams both headed in a weird direction. Vanderbilt was a #1 seed a year ago going into the postseason. They're the SEC champs a year ago in the tournament. And then, they don't even make it out of a regional, and it's been a downhill trend ever since. Now, they did play a little bit tougher schedule than LSU did. They played, a few better teams. But and then LSU, of course, after winning the national championship, it's been a rough start to their year. So this should be, 1 versus 2 and the premier matchup of the weekend. And instead, it's one of the dud matchups of the weekend. All right, TK, let's move on. Some NFL news. The New Orleans Saints have been active and a huge story in the league in general.
Yeah, the Saints running back Travis Etienne, who's from Jennings, Louisiana, over there in the southwest corner near Lake Charles and Lafayette. He's going to come play for the Saints. Linebacker Caden Ellis, who used to play for the Saints, has been with the Falcons. He's coming back. The big tight end that's got good potential, Noah Fant. They've lost to Mario Davis. He went to the Jets. Alante Taylor went to the Titans. So there's some other minor moves, but lots of activity. Noon today Eastern time, they can start officially making announcements. They have what they call the legal tampering thing Monday, Tuesday, and this morning. And the big story you're referring to is the Max Crosby from the Raiders to the Ravens. The rumor is he didn't pass the physical. We'll find out sooner or later. They voided the deal and then signed Hendrickson, who sat out for the Bengals. He's a former Saints player. Crosby's back to the Raiders as we speak, and we'll find out the true story on that. So, and there's a lot of other activity. Tua Tagovailoa going to sign with the Falcons. According to reports, and of course that's in the NFC South. The Saints would have to play the Falcons twice, as we know. So lots of stuff shaking around. Kyler Murray still not signed. If somebody's looking for that quarterback. So today, tomorrow, there'll be a little more dust settling in the NFL free agency.
Let's talk about the big story though. With the Hendrickson was going to the Raiders were supposed to receive 2 first-round draft picks from the Ravens. He'd had knee surgery in the fall, late fall. According to his agent, everything's on track. He's doing great. Blah 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 blah. Well, clearly something went wrong. So not only, Tommy, do they send him back to the Raiders, and okay, the Raiders don't get the first-round picks, but the Raiders have been spending, like a 19-year-old dating a millionaire. They have been signing all these players, spending like crazy, thinking they have him off the books. That's the thing. They've been thinking that they had Crosby off the books. And so now not only do you not have the 2 first-round picks you thought you were going to have, but you also may have overspent and you're in a pickle. So this is a bad, bad deal for the Raiders. I mean, you talk about just horrible luck in the last 25 years, that organization. My God, this is just a cherry on top. But the Ravens, they just pivot, no big deal. They get a fresh Trey Hendrickson, who didn't play last year for the Bengals, one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, former New Orleans Saint. By the way, Gus and I, my brother, went fishing with him last April over in Fort Lauderdale. He was on the boat when we did the video with Jameis Winston. Hendrickson was on there with his family. But this is a guy who got something to prove, got a chip on his shoulder. Oh, by the way, in the same division as the Bengals now, right? Poor Joe Burrow. He thought, okay, Max Crosby's going back to the Ravens. Okay, that's good. No, now your teammate is coming to get you.
Well, there's a lot of layers in this story and a lot of effect, mainly to the Raiders, but other teams, and it's just makes you wonder, how can things like that happen? And kind of like you referenced earlier, we need the E! Hollywood true story on what really happened. I read that he didn't pass a physical, but that's not an official announcement. That was, by these NFL insider guys and girls that come up with info. So we'll see. But curious to see how the Saints proceed. Yeah.
Last night, something happened that's only happened, that hasn't happened in forever. Bam Adebayo scores 80 plus. Second most points in NBA history. Okay, the Heat score 150 points. Bam Adebayo scores 83 points. That surpasses Kobe's 81 that he had. So now, it's kind of a weird list. Wilt Chamberlain at 100, Adebayo at 83, and then Kobe at 81. I don't care. What Tommy was he from the free throw line?
38 for 46, something like that.
Yeah, I think 39 for 46.
A lot of trips to the free throw line.
Look, I don't care what league, what level. I don't care if it's Class C boys basketball, and 83 is unbelievable. So tip my cap. I know it's the Wizards; they're terrible, but still. Bam Adebayo, amazing moment. 83 points, incredible. Got a little golf tournament going on this weekend that you know something about.
The Players Championship down at the TPC of Sawgrass. I was there last year, as you know, for several days, and to see that course in person is even different than looking at it on TV. I'll be able to certainly watch the 16th, 17th, and 18th hole differently, because I spent most of my time on those 3 holes when I was in Ponte Vedra Beach last year. But Sam Burns is a long shot. I put a little wager on him. Rory McIlroy's back's acting up. Brooks Koepka's in the field. The favorite is Scotty Scheffler. He's plus 400. He's the odds-on favorite according to the wise guys. And round 1 will be tomorrow, another day at a practice round. And in fact, today I was there last year on the Wednesday practice round. One thing that was cool, Ronnie, and I didn't notice till I was there last year, on the Wednesday practice round, when the 17th tee, the Island Green, all the caddies get to take a shot. Okay, they all get to take a shot to see how they can do. A lot of them caddies are very good golfers, like way better than you and I. And there was a caddy last year when we were watching that made a hole in one. A caddy canned it on the old caddy. They do like a big thing on the scoreboard, the caddy challenge, like how
Right.
many feet each ball's away and, all that. He canned one, one of the caddies. So,
That's pretty
of course.
good.
And, Ronnie, I played a lot of golf, getting ready to play a whole lot more. I've never had a hole in one. I've knocked things in from the fairway and I've holed out from a bunker and all that. I've never made a hole in one. I've been close, but I've never made one. Have you ever made a hole in one?
No, never really came close, Tommy. I mean, might have seen a ball mark somewhere near the hole or, real close to the cup. But as far as like, there never was I don't have a story. Oh, it rolled right past the edge or something like, no.
Well, how about this, Ron? Not a hole in one, but years ago, I was playing at Belterre on the ninth hole. So when Belterre was in good shape, they used to play the New Orleans PGA Tour qualifying there. I was on the ninth hole with a group, and there was a group of people that was really slow, and they were on the ninth green, and they waved us up like, "Y'all, come on, come on!" I hit a 7-iron in the hole from 155 yards while they waved us through. Normally, you wave guys through, and they hit it in the bunker, they hit it in the trees. I hold it out. So that was kind of cool to have
Right.
extra witnesses, that the ball went in. I hit it good, obviously, and it went in the hole. I said, I got up there and I told them, I said, well, guys, that is where I was aiming.
I've had two, Tommy, in my life. I had a 125 on the 18 fairway at U Club. And I think Alan Risher was playing with me. It was years ago, and he was in the group. I feel like Alan was in the group for some reason. Pretty sure. And then another time, I was 115. I hold one out from like 115, but never a hole in one, type of deal. All right,
So
TK.
anyway, so the players is going on. Other than that, LSU basketball today, 7.5-point dogs to Kentucky. That's an 11:30 tip. It'll be on time. It's the first game of the day in the men's SEC tournament. The women will have a watch party Sunday night to find out if they're hosting and where they're going and who they're playing, all that good stuff.
And also tonight, I'll be watching Stephen F. Austin and McNeese. McNeese won in 3 overtimes last night against UTRGV in 3 overtimes. McNeese, UTRGV missed a shot in regulation and in the first and second overtime at the horn to win it. Their best 2 players fouled out, and McNeese won in the 3rd overtime. So they survived and advanced. They have lost 2 this year. Stephen F. won the regular season. McNeese finished 2nd. So Stephen F. has beaten McNeese 2 straight. They're going to take them on tonight. Now, they do play in Lake Charles at McNeese. Hopefully that crowd will give them a little energy after that 3 overtime marathon. First time ever a Southland Conference men's basketball tournament game went to 3 overtimes.
Ronnie, you know who watches Sports Shorts Daily and was ready to prove you wrong? You don't know where I'm going with this. Georgia Southern in the Sun Belt tournament. You said it's impossible to win 6 games in 6 days. They won the first 5 games in 5 days and lost to Coastal Carolina in the 6th game. But they almost did what you said was impossible. Win 6 games in 6 days because, it's kind of skewed the way the Sun Belt's doing their tournament to try to get more teams in the big dance. But Georgia Southern you challenged them and they almost rang the bell.
Well, Tommy, I'm staying with it. It's impossible because it hasn't happened. All right,
Well,
TK, tell us about Tremonti's, and we'll be back on Friday.
Yeah, Tremonti's got boiled crawfish every afternoon now at 3 o'clock, hot out the pot. You can call for live crawfish, place your orders. This is Tuesday through Saturday. Tremonti's will bring them out. Of course, today, the lunch special is the hamburger and fries for $6.99. You can't beat that. Stop by, get it to go. You can sit in here and eat it. Plenty of tables available at Tremonti's. $6.99 burger and fries. That's the world-famous burger that is served at Baton Rouge Rougarou games. And again, the boiled crawfish. It's full speed ahead. They can also cater your crawfish boil. You need 200 pounds. You need 5,000 pounds. They can do it here at Tremonti's, large or small. They can boil them for you, bring them to you, boil them on site, however you want to do it. It's crawfish time at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge. Again, live crawfish every day at 3, boiled crawfish every day at 3 o'clock, hot out the pot, corn, potatoes, the whole bit. You got to check it out. We're back Friday morning, as Ronnie said. Don't forget to like and share this show. Look for these shorts clips on YouTube later on in the day and tomorrow. I'm Tommy Krysan. Have a great day, everybody.